Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is the sewing tutorial of the style on the thumbnail. If you're interested, let's get into it. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you. Now for the drafting video, this is exactly where we stopped. I'll put the link in the description box in case you're interested. And this is attaching the lining to the back panel of this dress. Now after I've joined the lining on the wrong side on both sides and at the bottom, I'm just going to go ahead, notch it a little bit, and then I'm going to be turning this over to the right side and giving it a good press. I'll do this for both sides of my back panel and then I'll go ahead to add my dart. For your dart, from your zipper allowance, go out by 4 inches and then go down by 6 inches. You're going to connect in a straight line, and then on the waistline you're going to go out by ½ inches on both sides, and then you're going to connect in like a cone shape to create your dart. You're going to repeat this for the other side of the back panel, and you're going to set aside to work on the front. For the front panel, you're going to get a crepe fabric that is at least 2 inches wide on fold and as long as your front panel. Mine is 49 inches. Remember, I used 49 inches for my front. I'm going to sew it by ½ inch, trim it, and then turn it over to the right side. After turning it over to the right side, I'll open it up. The part that is stitched will be in the middle. Then I'll go ahead to give it a very good press so it will lay flat. After ironing, this is exactly what it looks like. Now for your front panel, you're going to fold it into two and iron it so it will get a crease line, a very sharp crease line, because that's where you are going to be placing your crepe fabric, in the center, in the middle of your front panel. What that crease line will do for you, it will help you to know the middle of your front panel. You're going to place this crepe fabric in the middle. Make sure it is aligned so it will be in the middle. Then you're going to place a hemming gum on top of it, because you can choose to sew it directly, but I like to use a hemming gum so it will be straight. Place the hemming gum and then go ahead to place your crepe fabric on top of it very gently so it will be very straight. After placing my crepe fabric on top of the hemming gum, I'm going to cover this up with a piece of fabric and iron it very well. As you can see, I've been able to achieve that crepe in the middle effect. The next thing to do is to go ahead and place my lining piece on top of it, sew it at the down part and by the sides. After which, I'll turn it to the right side, press and set aside. Now I've gone ahead to cut out my pattern on my fabric. As you can see, I cut both the lining piece and the actual fabric together. Just use ½ inch all around, which is going to serve as your joining allowance. So this is the side front, this is the center front, as you can see labeled on the pattern. I cut out my lining piece and my fabric together. And as for the yoke is just one piece because it's going to be like a lace fabric. I added ½ inch allowance around it. For the back piece, this is exactly what it looks like. I added ½ inch round it, except for the side I've already, the zipper allowance area, because there's a zip there. I cut out the fabric and the lining together. I'll just go ahead to separate the pattern from the fabric so we can start joining. I've gone ahead to iron interfacing on my fabric. As you can see, there's interfacing on it. Now for my cup, I'll not be using a wadding, I'll be using hairstay. I folded this hairstay into 6 because I actually want to get 3 pieces for both sides. I'm just going to trace it out, just like I'm doing. Then I'm going to trim it when I get to how long I want it to be, and then get a little curve on the side. This is just going to form my cup. I'm just going to be placing it on both sides, 3 pieces each. Want a more detailed tutorial, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be repeating the same thing for my center front pattern. I'm going to be cutting out 3 pieces of my hairstay, and then I'm going to be trimming it according to what I have, and then I'm just going to be placing it on top of it and ironing it. So I have 3 pieces of this. Now that I'm done ironing my hairstay, this is exactly what it looks like. It looks like a wadding, but it is not. And I'm just going to pin the sides to the center front, and then I'll go and sew by ½ inch. Whatever I do for the actual fabric, I'll do it for the lining piece. For my back pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and sew in my dart, and I'm just placing my pattern paper to know exactly where my dart is going to be using my pattern. After joining my front panel pieces, this is what I have for the lining. As you can see, it already has that cup effect and it is looking good. And this is what the actual fabric looks like. If you check the thumbnail, you'll see that the actual style also has a crepe fabric around the bustier area. And to achieve that, I'm just going to be placing the bustier on top of the crepe, just so the crepe can have the shape of that bustier area, almost like you're cutting a facing for your neck piece. That's exactly how you're going to be going about this. You're just going to trace the bustier area out on the crepe pattern, like you're cutting a facing for your neckline. After doing that, you're going to open it up and then you're going to measure how long you want it to be. I'm still going to be using the same 2 inches that I used for the skirt area, just so it will be uniform. I ended up using 2.5 inch because I'm going to be joining separately. So half for the up and half for the bottom part. I'm still going to arrive at 1.5 when I'm done. After I was done, that's exactly the shape that it was looking like. I'm going to place it on the crepe fabric and cut out another piece. It's going to be 2 pieces. After that, I'll go to my machine and join them 1/2 inch both on the upper part and the lower part. After I was done, this is exactly what it looks like. I'll just go ahead and notch on all the area, notch them tiny so that you'll be able to turn them and it will look very neat. After notching, I'll turn over to the right side and give it a very good press. Before that, just try to trim out the allowance so it will be very neat when you turn over to the right side. After turning over to the right side, this is what it looks like. I'll press it and set it aside. Now I'm going to bring my front panel and then I'm just going to place, just like I'm doing now, you're going to place the yoke on the right side. Please watch how I'm placing it, and then you're going to place the right side of your lining piece on it. So this is how it is going to be. Put your machine and sew by 1/2 inch. After I was done, this is what it looks like on the wrong side and this is what it looks like on the right side. Now I'll take that crepe piece and then I'm just going to place it in the middle of my yoke and my fabric. Just make sure you align it carefully in a way that it will be very neat and look nice. After doing that, just like I did for the lower part, I'm just going to place a hemming gum on top of it and iron it first before I go ahead and tack it gently so it will not loose. After I was done, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it is looking very nice and neat. This is what it looks like on the wrong side. I'll set this aside and work on my back piece. Now for my back panel, I've already gone ahead to join my dart. Now I'm going to be placing fabric and lining right side facing right side. I'll go ahead and turn the neck, the zipper area and the side. After turning fabric to lining, this is exactly what it will look like. As you can see, it looks very neat. The next thing to do is to place my front panel just like this and place my back panel on top of it, right side facing each other to join my shoulder area. And to do that, you're going to be turning it with your lining piece for the back to give it that nice inseam finish. Then go ahead and stitch it. You use the lining to turn out both sides of the fabric. Just watch what I'm doing and then you go and stitch by 1/2 inch. After I was done joining the shoulder, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it gave it a nice inseam finish at the shoulder area. Now I'll go ahead to join the sides of this fabric. I'll use the lining to turn the sides so it will give it like that neat finish. And this is exactly how I'm going to be doing it. You're just going to turn it, place the fabric and the lining right side facing each other, and then you're going to stitch by 1/2 inch. After I was done with that, this is what it looks like. As you can see, the dress is already coming together. The next thing to do is to introduce the lower part of this dress. And I'm just going to be placing this front to front and back to back. So this is me trying to knot to get the middle point of the upper part of this gown. After notching the middle point, I'm going to be doing the same for the lower panel, and then I'm just going to be placing it right side facing each other. You're going to go to your machine and you're going to sew by 1/2 inch. You can choose to pin it down just like I'm doing. It makes the whole thing just easier for you to hold. Now you are going to repeat whatever you did at the front part. You're going to repeat it for the back part also. You're going to bring both parts of the lower piece, and then you're going to be placing them right side facing each other to the two sides of the upper part. Just watch what I'm doing. It is actually very easy. You can go ahead to pin this down in a way that both darts are aligned. It is actually better to make sure that the darts are aligned. It gives you a more neat and clean look when you are done sewing. After joining one part of the back panel, I'm doing the same thing for the upper part. Please make sure your darts are aligned and then just pin it down. After that, go to your machine and sew by 1/2 inch. After joining the upper and lower part of this gown, this is what it looks like for the front, and then this is what it's looking like so far for the back part. Now the next thing to do is to place another fabric that is 1.5 inches wide and as long as your waistline on this part where your upper part and lower part meet. Just make sure that half of the crepe is going to the upper part and half is going to the lower part. Then you can choose to use your hemming gum first to gum it, and then you can go ahead and stitch it. After doing that, you're almost done with this dress. The next thing to do is to place it right side facing each other like so, and then you can start to impute your body measurements. After carefully imputing your body measurement, the next thing you're going to do is to pin it down to hold it together. That's the front and the back piece. Use your tiny pins to hold it down. Then go to your machine and sew on the lines that you have made. After sewing on the lines and attaching my zipper at the back of this dress, this is exactly what it is looking like so far. As you can see, it is looking really nice. The final thing to do is to cut out my hand measurement, and this is going to be a puff sleeve, so it doesn't need much to be done. It depends on how wide your fabric is or how wide you want the puff and how long you want it to be. I think my puff is about 17 inches for the length, and then for the wideness I just use the whole wrapper folded in two. So it's showing 14 inches on the screen, but I went ahead to use something longer, so I used 17 inches. So I'll just be using my free hand to cut it out to have like the shape of a sleeve. It doesn't need much because you're going to be pleating it around the armhole area of the dress. After doing that, you're going to open this up. After opening it up, you're going to go ahead and create a channel for your rubber. Now the measurement to be inserted inside the rubber casing is, I think I actually ended up using 12 inches. So after doing that, depending on how tight you want to be, you're going to insert your rubber and then you're going to pleat the sleeve around the armhole area of this gown. And this is exactly how it is going to look by the time you are done. It came out very nice. Thank you for watching and seeing you in my next video. Bye.